Welcome to Leverage Academy, guys. My name's Farhan Qureshi. So today's video, how I got my first six-figure job. When you're a young man, most young men, I would say, one of their big goals is to become top 10% income earners. Here in the United States, if you make 100,000 or more a year, you're in the top 10% of income earners. That was one of my big goals, and I was able to achieve it in my 20s some years ago. So I was blessed and fortunate enough to get to a point in corporate where I was making doctor money, guys. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy. And it was totally towards the latter end of my career as well. Just to kind of give you guys a quick rundown. But before I get into the story, before I start going off, shout out to our sponsor, Credzly.com. Credzly.com is a fintech company. They have credit builder services, credit monitoring services, and Social Security number and dark web protection services, right, to protect your identity. Also, identity theft insurance as well. It's $50 a month, guys, and you get two primaries added to your credit report. It's a credit builder loan and a rent reporting service. Also, you get to monitor your credit report for all three bureaus. And you also get a bunch of other things. Guys, go check it out, Credzly.com, okay? It's $50 a month, or you can sign up annually for $500. That actually saves you 2 months worth of fees right there. So definitely go check out Credzly.com. Go sign up. And also, I want to shout out my school community, Leverage Academy. I have a credit maxing course on there. I took my credit score from 350 to 750 within a year. I was able to get funding to start businesses. And also, I was able to get into real estate. I was able to purchase and rehab three properties within a year. Okay, all of that in a year, guys. I can't even tell you. Like, I went from like zero to hero, right? Super quick. You guys could do it too. And I teach it in Leverage Academy. It's dirt cheap right now. It's pre-sale for $100. Once I actually upload all the modules in there, it will be double to $200. So get in now. All right. So how I got my first six-figure job. Your credit score can literally decide if you get the job or not, especially six-figure ones. So let's get straight into it. My story. Actually, guys, after high school, I graduated high school and I tried college. Don't get me wrong. I went to like a class or two at a community college, right? But nothing ever came from it. I did not follow through with it, and I gave up pretty quick with that. I actually had to work. I was in a situation. I was blessed and fortunate to be enough in a, I was blessed and fortunate enough to be in a situation where I had to work and help my family. Okay, it was actually a good thing. And let me tell you, 18 years old, I graduate high school, I get directly into sales. Shout out to my cousin, the same one that I talked about in the video with the payment processing. He has a payment processing company now. He got me my first sales job in payment processing. So I totally recommend, if you're a young person, get into sales for sure, right? If you're in your 20s, you don't know what to do, get into sales. That's one of the best skills you can learn, along with public speaking. As you can see, I'm fixing my I'm working on my public speaking skills currently. But yeah, sales and public speaking is like one of the best things you could do. And yeah, I worked in sales for a couple years, fresh out of high school. And, I was making good money, I would say, definitely compared to the other kids my age. And most kids graduated college and then got into sales. I was already doing sales right at 18, right? By the time I was 22, I guess, in the US, that would be like the age where you would graduate with your bachelor's. By that time, I was already making money. I was already polished in corporate, smoking cigarettes with a caffeine addiction, wearing suits and stuff, going to real job interviews and whatnot. But, I'm living in Chicago, and I had a sales background. And I finally, after that, what ended up happening was I got into my, I guess, first non-sales corporate job, which was operations analyst at a fintech company. And I worked there for 6 years, guys. I was there for a long time. And, well, I guess for this generation, my generation, I'm 29 years old. That's considered a long time. So, yeah, I worked at the fintech company for 6 years. And towards the later end, once I became operations manager, that's when I started making more money. And let me tell you guys, the higher paying jobs, they definitely do a lot more, how you say, background check, right? So when I started making doctor money, I was actually internal audit director. And it wasn't at the fintech company, it was after that. I took my resume where I had steady promotions, steady raises. I took my resume and I started applying at other jobs. And I'm telling you guys, it was not easy. Oof. When people tell me that they can't find a job, I know you're just not trying hard enough, because my method was this. I was actually just telling my wife this, man. You got to make it impossible for you to fail. There's a influencer, Brandon Carter, that I learned this from. You should make it so that it's impossible to fail. Okay? How I made it impossible to fail at my goal, which was to get a high paying job, was I had a kick ass resume, really good resume, and I was applying to 50 new job applications every single day, guys. 50 new job applications every single day. And I'm not talking about like just sending them out randomly. I'm talking about filtered, like, where I want to work, the type of pay I want to make, and, stuff that's suitable to me, that I would be good at and that my resume fits. So, yeah, it wasn't easy. Multiple websites. I'm over here submitting applications in my resume to 50, sometimes more, but minimum 50 applications a day. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was super irresponsible in the sense where I wouldn't have the next job lined up. No, I would quit the job and then I would do my hunt. So it was like a full-time type thing where I would do 50 applications, brand new. And essentially what ended up happening was I would submit 50 job applications. After a week of doing that, I would start getting calls, texts, emails for job interviews. And then I would basically couple that with every single day, I would have 2 job interviews. I would line them up, at least 2. And on top of that, I'm still submitting 50 new applications. Guys, that was like a full-time job itself, submitting 50 applications. And I'm over here keeping, doing tallies and stuff, making sure I got the 50 minimum. And I'm doing 2 job interviews a day. After a couple of weeks, boom, I get a email offer letter. These people interviewed me like 4 different times. And what was actually the most shocking, this was doctor money. I wasn't a doctor, obviously. I was an internal audit director, but I was starting to make doctor money here. And I got the offer letter and all that stuff. Guys, I was so thrilled. I remember calling my mom and telling her I was so happy, calling my friends. Like, I'm not going to lie, a lot of people were hating, though. People I would have never expected started hating on me for that because I was making good money. You know what I mean? And yeah, I was super happy. And guess what, though? They asked to do a credit check. How crazy is that? Now, at that point, my credit was okay. It wasn't to the point where, like, it could have been better knowing what I know now, but it wasn't bad either. So luckily, I passed and they gave me the job. But it was just so crazy because that was the first time where I actually got a credit check done for a job. And I'm learning now that like higher paying jobs, they do a credit check. And also, I believe government jobs also will do credit checks. More and more places are doing credit checks now for jobs, for employment. Okay. So guys, I'm telling you right now, take your credit seriously. Okay. Listen, there's communities out there that don't care about credit. All right, let's just be honest. The Hispanic community doesn't care about credit. Most of the Hispanic people I know, they just deal with cash. Muslim people, all right, Middle Eastern people, Muslim people, they don't care about credit because, or maybe they avoid it or something because they think it's haram, like, oh, interest, riba. Listen, it's not haram to have good credit, guys. Guess what? When you want to rent an apartment or you want to rent a house because you don't want to pay interest and you don't want to get a mortgage, they're going to do a credit check. I'm literally looking for renters right now. I hired someone, agent, and she's she's literally doing background checks and credit checks and everything like that to find us renters. Okay, so just to even get employment in a place to live, just to rent, guys, they're going to check your credit. Go take your credit seriously, okay? I have a course, okay? Leverage Academy on School. That's my school community credit maxing course. $100 right now pre-sale. Go purchase that. In there, you will learn how to repair your credit, how to build your credit, how to use credit for business and real estate, okay? And to further yourself. Financial self-improvement. That's what I teach, guys. The course will actually, the price will double to $200 once I finish uploading all the modules in there. So hurry up. Also, guys, our sponsor here is Credzly.com. Go check out Credzly.com. Sign up. That's where you're going to build your credit, monitor your credit, and make sure that everything's secure and that you're not a victim of identity theft or fraud.